Today we are going to be looking at Article 5 of URC 522, which is on presentation. So this article is entirely based on presentation and the rules that we need to be following regarding presentation. And if you see, the word presentation is defined in the first subsection A of Article 5. Now, this word was not defined in Article 2 of URC 522, where we usually find the definitions. But only this word presentation is defined elsewhere, not in the Article 2. So, Article 5 subsection A defines presentation as a procedure whereby the presenting bank makes the documents available to the drawee as instructed. Now, you need to understand that presentation is a procedure that happens between two parties. And who are the two parties involved? One is presenting bank, the other is the drawee. So, it's only between these two entities or these two parties that presentation will happen when the documents are made available to the drawee, and such documents need to be made available as instructed in the collection instruction. So that is implied here. When you move on to section B of Article 5, it tells us that collection instruction should state the exact period of time within which any action is to be taken by the drawee. Now here there are three things for you to focus on. The very first thing is there should be an exact period of time mentioned with regarding to any action that is to be taken by the drawee. So you can't just be vague in terms of the time you can give for a drawee to do a particular action. You have to make sure that it is precise. Now, where should this exact time be mentioned? That is in the collection instruction, not anywhere else. So please remember these three key points. The exact time period needs to be mentioned with regarding to any action that needs to be taken by the drawee, not any other party. And this exact time must be mentioned in the collection instruction. And this subsection B goes on to say that, look here, the expressions such as first, prompt, immediate, or the like. So here they have given you three expressions: first, prompt, immediate, or even a word which is similar meaning to these three. You cannot use them with regarding to three particular events. If you are using so, then the banks involved can disregard these three or the like expressions. So what are these three events that they shouldn't be relating to? We are going to see that. So the very first one is the words first, prompt, immediate, and the like shouldn't be used in connection with presentation. So you can't be referring to presentation using these words. So that's the first event. The second is you shouldn't be using these words with reference to any time period within which documents have to be taken up by the drawee. So that's the second event. Third event is you cannot be using any of these three expressions or the like with regarding to or with reference to any time period for any other action, again, that is also to be taken by the drawee. So this is the third event. So in these three scenarios, if you notice the usage of these expressions, yes, you can ignore them, disregard them. But use of these expressions and the like for any other event, yes, please keep in mind you have to take them into consideration. Only in these three events you can disregard them. Moving on to subsection C, it states documents are to be presented to the drawee in the form in which they are received, except that banks are authorized to affix any necessary stamps at the expense of the party from whom they receive the collection, unless otherwise instructed, and to make necessary endorsements or place any rubber stamps or other identifying marks or symbols customary to or required for the collection operation. So this article says that the documents which needs to be presented to the drawee should be in the exact form as they are received. Only thing that you can maybe add on is that banks can fix any necessary stamps, they can make necessary endorsements, or they can place any rubber stamps. So here again, let me highlight you the three exceptions that, or the three things that you could additionally do to the documents that you get. So you can affix any necessary stamps, that is event 1. Event 2 is make necessary endorsement. So you can make those endorsements. That is the second exception. Third is you can place any rubber stamps or any identifying marks or symbol. So you can do these three and still hand over the document as it is to the drawee. You can't do anything else. And these three should be required for the collection operation. Should be mandatory for you to execute that collection operation. Only in that event these are allowed as well. Moving on to subsection D, for the purpose of giving effect to the instructions of the principal, the remitting bank will utilize the bank nominated by the principal as the collecting bank. So, who will nominate the collecting bank? Who has the primary responsibility to nominate the collecting bank? That would be the principal. Yes, so principal will be ideally nominating the collecting bank, and that collecting bank must be utilized by the remitting bank. Now let's say the principal has not nominated, the principal has not discharged this responsibility. In that case, what can the remitting bank do? They have two options. The very first option is they can use any bank of its own. That is the first remedy. Second is the remitting bank will utilize another bank's choice. That's the second remedy. And they will use either any bank of its own or another bank's choice in the country of payment or acceptance or wherever the terms and conditions are to be met. So the remitting bank can choose the collecting bank, but in two scenarios where they can utilize any bank of its own or they can use another bank's choice. Why am I reiterating this? When you move on to subsection F, you will see a difference. Moving on to subsection E, the documents and collection instruction may be sent directly by the remitting bank to the collecting bank or through another bank as an intermediary. So you can have a direct communication where the documents and the collection instruction are sent directly between the remitting and the collecting bank, or you can have an intermediary bank as well, that is allowed. F, if the remitting bank does not nominate a specific presenting bank, the collecting bank may utilize a presenting bank of its choice. So if you see, subsection D speaks about you selecting a collecting bank. Here, primary responsibility to select the collecting bank is with the principal. And when such nomination by the principal is not available, the responsibility comes to the remitting bank. There, the remitting bank can choose or can utilize any bank of its own or even choose another bank's choice. Here in subsection F, you're talking about selecting or nominating a presenting bank. If the remitting bank doesn't nominate a specific presenting bank, then the right moves to the collecting bank to choose of its choice a presenting bank to make the presentation. Okay, so with that we are done with Article 5 of URC 522, which was on presentation. We'll meet again in our next video where we discuss Article 6 of URC 522. I hope this video was helpful to you. Thank you for listening and subscribe and support us for more videos.